Howdy, howdy, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the Card Dungeon. But today, no cards, just coins. That's what we're talking about today because coins are a big deal, right? Anything that you do with your cards, you should be working on your coin stuff because it will improve your card game. And, in my opinion, as well as a lot of other people's opinions, and I value their opinion, yes, magicians that are slightly better than me, the pun, slight anyway. They are leaps and bounds better than me at magic, but I had to use a slight pun. Anyway, coins, right? And this is a single coin, and here's what I'm advocating. If you are using your coin on the regular, the cards, you're going to get better. Okay, keep that in mind. The other thing you want to keep in mind is that coins are more easily introduced than cards would be. Because if you're playing around with your coins, let's see if I can pull it off here on camera. A nice little coin roll. There we go. Something like that. So what I'm saying is that this is something that you can have in your repertoire that you're going to be using, or you can just borrow from somebody else and do the magic with it. Now, if you want to stick with cards, that's fine, and this isn't the video for you. But coins, something very important. We're going to go through a couple of basic things that I want you to have in your arsenal. Okay? And here's the big one. Big one. Okay? It's not so much that we're talking about the classic palm. It's that we're talking about your comfort level with the classic palm. That is what we're talking about. Being able to know how to move your hands, how to hold your hands, and how to get into it and how to adjust it, and what you can go into from the classic palm. These are a couple of the basic fundamentals that we're going to talk about today. Okay, so let's just jump right into it here. You have your coin. You're going to go into classic palm. Okay, so from here, rocking it back, pushing it in, locking it in. Now I find I like it a little bit higher, okay, and what this does is it allows me to still have my fluidity. Some people might prefer it a little bit lower, which is going to lock it into here, and that's going to be great. Okay, whatever works for you and whatever works for the moment, because sometimes you might be going to do it and it might be a little higher, might be a little lower. Practice with everything so that you're not binding up and locking up in the moment when you're going to go ahead and do whatever you're doing. So this is what I'm advocating, using the words, the big words today. No matter what your job is, as long as you can do it, because there might be some things that you might not be able to actually do this, but just hold the coins in your hands. Okay? You can practice the transfer, which is pretty simple. Let me stand up for this. So your hands are at a natural level down here. You can start up here, which is fine, but this is more of a relaxed state. So put it in, so get it in the face, and then come back down here. That's what's going to look better. Instead of starting here and then dropping down, you're going to want to put them on display a little bit, and then when you're ready, you're coming back to a normalized state. That's a Jay Sankey thing. I mean, a lot of people do it, but that's where I learned it specifically, is you're going to want to be up in front, and then you're going to want to drop back to a relaxed state. Don't start in your relaxed state and then drop away from that, because then you're not going to be in a relaxed state anymore. So practice this. So just practice going from here, dropping, tossing, locking it in, dropping, tossing, locking it in, and then you're just gonna be practicing that. We're gonna just show you with this hand here. You're just practicing the lock. That's all we're doing. Okay, and you're gonna drop it. That's what's gonna happen. But I'm just saying, whether you have two coins, one coin, find the coin that best fits for you. Whether, you know, if you're here, you got the quarter. You might have something a little bit bigger, gold dollar. You might have whatever country you're in. Find the coin that best fits your hand and practice. Now, you'll notice that I've got here, there's like an overbite, rather, if you'd call it that. Well, these are like almost folded. It's a raptor hand. So you don't want that. You're going to want it to be something of a more natural feel to it. Something like this. This is kind of like how my hand would be if I were directing or doing anything like that. Whereas if I've got the overbite, then I've got to overcompensate in other areas. So just be mindful of how your hand is looking. Don't be like like this, but you also don't want to just have it out there, especially if you're doing a move like this, where you got it in this particular palm. You don't want to just kind of sit here like this for too long. It's really more of a gesture and then a drop back. So the classic palm, if you start from classic palm from your pocket, you can direct all day like this, but keep in mind your angles that they're going to see over on this side. But if you're here and you're rotating this way, you can use this hand for cover. And as you can see, I got back into this raptor type of look here, but that's okay as you're coming in. You know, if you're just like, okay, now you can do a transfer or anything like that. Now, from this position, we want to talk about what kind of things you can do from this position. Now, we've already showed you the finger palm. Okay, now this is going to be one of your biggest moves right here. Getting it to your fingertips is a big deal. Okay, so keep that in mind, that this is what you're going to want to be practicing a lot of. Okay, just being calm with that, being ready for that. Now you can practice going into other things as well, but that would get you a little bit more advanced. So like I said, this is a basic thing. You just want to be in your palm, in your finger palm, palm, finger palm. Then from finger palm you can always go into something else, but that's, again, just make sure that you're practicing with both hands. Make sure you're practicing the gesturing. Make sure you're familiar with your angles and all of that. Okay, now here's something I want to show you. This is going to be something that's a little bit more of a, it's going to require a lot more practice, okay? So if we're here, the muscle pass, okay? Now muscle pass is going to have some very select few applications for you, especially early on, because it requires you to have a little bit more of a skill with it before you actually start using it for some very interesting things. Now, most of the time what people use it for would just be the reverse effect, okay, which isn't terrible. Okay, that's actually more of a visual effect. But keep in mind that it can be used as an invisible pass. So for instance, if you're, you know, that wasn't a very good muscle pass, but if you're, you know, trying to get from one hand to the other without them noticing, it can be used as an invisible pass as well. So that is something that is going to come in handy, and that's something that you can really play around with in your routines. But for now, what I'll just show you is this goes from the muscle pass here, and then you're just squeezing it together and you're getting a nice little pressure out of it. Okay, now I practice and practice and practice, and I'm still like, I wouldn't consider myself very high. Sometimes I get a good bite to it, and the other times I don't. So it's something that you're just going to want to practice, again, with both hands. Just get familiar with the coin, get it into your classic palm, and of course launch it out of the floor. It almost stood up on end because of the carpet, and that would have been impressive. But that is your muscle pass. Now, part of the reason why I'm pushing for it here, even though you might not be using it as much as you would be from the classic to the fingers, is because it's going to build up that strength in your hand and get you a little bit more used to the movement and give you a little bit more strength for everything that you're doing. And now as we get into more of a rhythm here with these moves, I'm going to drop it a little bit more because it's going to get a little bit more pressure to it. Now we're going to go into a third phase with your palm, classic palm, and this is going to be a good old-fashioned hand washing. And you saw this in a video that I did a little while ago, and I've been wanting to talk about it because hand washing is very important. Now when it comes to coin magic, and I know this is something that we could have put at the beginning, and remember, if you like what you see here on the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Now that's because we're going to be doing videos and we're going to be teaching and we're going to be doing like a walk along kind of thing here. So I want you guys to be here for some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. So washing your hands is very important when it comes to coin work, because coin magic, you have this, let's say you're doing something with your coins, it goes into the hand, okay? Oh, it's gone. It's just in the other hand. That's what's going to happen, right? Because you've got to tell a story, and that story, you can't allow the spectator to dictate the story. You have to dictate the story. You have to give them something, okay, something to go with. Okay, and that wasn't very good from this angle, but meaning, tossing and catching, you have to finish the story, but don't be too fast, don't be too slow, but you have to have them follow you through this journey with the coin. If you ever let it stop, the only time you ever want to let it stop is if you're going to do something like this, where you make the coin vanish. But then, as quickly as that, you can make it reappear. So you can, if you have the right moves in your arsenal, you can have it stop for a little bit. Now the move I just did, there's two major problems with it. I love the move. I think it's great for camera, and I think you could get away with it if you're in a face-to-face type of setting. But there's a lot of things that could go wrong, and if you want to play it safe, then stick to some other things. But if you want to take a little bit more risk, be mindful of, let's say, the element, okay? Because that's going to be very important with that type of maneuver. But hand washing, okay? And now I've got the rings on, so you got to keep in mind that the rings add a little bit more of an element to it. But with the hand washing, you have one of my favorite moves, which is the French drop, okay? And with the French drop, you can really get this really nice motion in there. Grab it out of the air like that, and just as quickly as that, we could actually just make that appear right out of the hands. Now I've got a little bit of a light distortion on my end because I'm using the laptop again, and I know it's never that great. But the principle that I love with that move, okay, and I don't even know where I learned it, but here's what I love about it. So you can lock in your coin. You're getting something out of the air. You're blowing on it. Okay? And what you're doing is you're locking in here, and it looks like you're just holding like this. But what you've actually done is you've created this little bit of an overlap. And now, as you go to pull out, remember it's on this side. This is your guilty hand. This is your retrieving hand. And what you're going for is you're going for this little bit of effect as you pull. It almost is like it's growing. But it's almost like it's growing from the hand that pulled it out, right? So it's here, but you're actually going for this like lock-in thing, and then you're just pulling on it to make it see, as you're rotating it out into these fingers, it's almost like it's coming out of this hand. So it's something that I really enjoy, and I think it can be really great, especially from a good eye level. There isn't really much you really need to do with that, because after the hand washing, it's in your hand. So all you got to do is just lock it behind here and then come in and make it appear. So I think that's a really good way to do that. Personally, I like it. If you don't, if you think it's not good, let me know down below why, and we can talk about it. I think it just gives you this really nice illusion as if it's coming out of thin air because it's thin, and I just showed you that this hand was empty, and I'm still showing you that this hand is empty, and I'm really just hiding the coin behind there, and it looks like I'm just locking in and just slightly rotating and pulling from the hand that just grabbed it. So you're rocking it forward and just pulling it out from these fingers, and it looks quite impressive, I think, anyway. But the hand washing is important, and now let's slow that down for you. So you're going from the classic palm. Now you could do the hand washing. You can either make the coin vanish, okay, then do the hand washing, and then make it reappear, however you want to do that. Or a good way to do it would be saying like this, and this is something I got from Rick Holcomb, right? So you're basically like, here, let's see if we can show you something. Let's see here. Yeah. How about we go ahead and we're going to do something like this. And then we toss that into the air, and that's going to make the coin appear over here. Something of the application where you are making the coin isn't in existence yet. You're showing both hands clean, and then you're making the coin appear. However you see fit with that. So the coin washing is going to be the next phase for just showing that your hands are empty. So I would practice those. practice the muscle pass. These are the things that I'm working on right now, and I'm sharing these things with you. So muscle pass, practice, practice, practice. Practice that classic palm. Practice the shift to this one. And if you really want to get really, really knacky with it, you can drop your coin on the floor. That's going to be good for it. You know what I'm saying? So, see if I can pull this up. So you're just tossing your coin. Just tossing your coin. Okay, now it's over here. So basically what the idea for this is that you're doing a fake toss. So you're just getting the idea and the rhythm down for what it looks like when you toss the coin. And then as you go, you're going to fake toss it, fake toss it, fake toss it. So you, at some point you stop tossing it. Okay, and it still looks the same. And then after you're done, you can go into a little bit of a something. And it looks really weird on my camera, so I can't even really give you good feedback based on what I'm seeing because the lighting is all wrong here. Okay, we're doing great on time here, but we're gonna, I think this is gonna be good. The 3 phases that you want to look at here is you want to look at just that classic palm, take it a step further and make sure that you're practicing getting in and out of the classic palm. That's going to be very important. Then you're going to want to work on that muscle pass just to get your strength built up in both hands. As you can see, right hand pretty decent, left hand still wonky. So I got to practice more with my left hand and then take it to the next level with movement, because like I said with this one, as you're transferring from here to here, you can actually get to the point where you practice actually not tossing it, but make sure that your hands still look the same, which is great for movement, but that becomes a fake toss, which is going to be helpful later on when you're trying to misdirect. But with hand washing, you're going to want to either have the coin visible at one point, make it disappear, then make it reappear, okay, or just have it gone altogether to begin with, and then just do a little bit of a basic hand wash, make it appear, toss it up, boom. And I'm not a big fan of that type of look to it. I haven't really mastered the toss and catch type thing. I really like my little thing here a little bit better for right now. But carry these things with you. Let me know down below what you like. Let me know what you didn't like. And let me know if there's anything that I can do to improve, because that's what I'm here for. If I helped you, awesome. If you helped me, awesome, because we're a community, and that's what we're looking for. So thank you guys for coming along and talking about a little bit of coin stuff with me today. And if there's anything out there that you are interested in sharing with me, please let me know down below. That way we can talk about it and learn some new stuff together. So remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we will see you in the next one.